Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to set up your TrackCC Teacher Pro School from the website trackcc.org. Teacher Pro accounts are available to single teacher schools, or if you plan to use TrackCC as a personal productivity tool in a larger school setting. So now that we know what Teacher Pro accounts can be used for, let's set up an account. So first, navigate to the Sign In/Create Account button at the top right corner of the home page, and then click the gray Create Account button. Next, we need to fill in these fields. So for this example, let's create a music school. So for the name of the teacher, let's just write music teacher, email address musicteacher@gmail.com, and you need a password of at least 6 characters. And then when you're done filling those out, click Create Account. So this will take you back to the home page of the TrackCC website. However, you are signed in. You see your email at the top right corner. So to get to your teacher page, click on Teachers and My Teacher Account. So now we need to activate the 30-day free trial, which Teacher Pro offers. So all you need to do here is click this green button. So next, we want to add some classes. So this is the home page of your classes. So navigate to School Data and add a new class. So click on that. And before we are able to add a class, we don't have any school terms set up yet. So we need to add one here. So school terms are often used for a new semester or for other situations where students and teachers change or are rearranged. So that's the best use for the school terms. So for this example, let's add a summer term. And let's say it starts in early June and ends at the end of August. Let's say it ends there. And there we go. All right, and then you're going to click Save School Term. And there it is. And now let's add a piano class. And these last two options here, the school name and the description, are optional, but let's add a school name. Let's say Music School. There we go. All right, and then click the green Save Changes button at the top right here. And there we go. We have one class set up. Let's actually add another class. So back to School Data and click Add a New Class. So as you can see here, the school term and the school name are saved. So let's just add a guitar class. And of course, you can add another school term if you'd like, but let's keep this simple for now. And save changes. And there we go. Now we have two classes. So then we need to add some students to these classes. Let's add some sample students. So let's go to Piano, Add Students. And here you can see we have the first name and last name. But if you go to your school settings, you can actually add more info fields if you'd like more information about each student. You can add an email, student ID, you can add a class, and other information. You can even add your own additional fields if you'd like. So now let's just keep this simple and write in some example students. So let's add Alice here and save changes and add next. Let's add another student. And then let's add Brandon H. And then we save changes. And this will take us to the student list here. And now let's go back to my classes. And now let's add some students for the guitar class too. So click the arrow next to add students. And here we can add students from the previous list if they are enrolled in both classes. But let's add some new students for this class so they're unique. So let's add Lauren J. Save changes and add next. And then let's add Thomas G. All right, and save changes. And this is our student list here. And click My Classes. So now we have our classes and our students set up here. You can always minimize these if you want, but we have 2 students per class and we have 2 classes. You can also upload all this data, and especially if you have more data, by file upload, by clicking Upload School Data, which can be found right under Add a New Class. Just make sure to follow the correct format for the files. If you need some help, under Resources, you can find sample upload files to help you with that. Okay, so now that we have our classes set up and students set up, let's add some data for today's class. So let's say we are teaching the guitar class. So first of all, we want to take attendance. So go to attendance and click the arrow. And then we can do some quick attendance from here. So let's say Lauren was present and Thomas was tardy. So now that's good. We can save changes. But let's say that we want to add a note for Thomas. So we click this arrow here and scroll down. We can also change this and click Edit Notes. And let's say he was 5 minutes late. There we go. And save changes again. And now he has a note saved there in his log. So now we have attendance done. Let's go back to my classes here. And there we go. So next, let's work on some behavior notes here. So some behavior points. So click on the arrow. And let's just give behavior points for Lauren. So click on the arrow here. And now we find these. So these are the default options here. You can customize those by clicking here. But let's keep this simple and just keep the default behavior items. So let's say that Lauren did a very good job with teamwork, but maybe she forgot her notebook. So let's add a note there. So forgot notebook. There. And we can save changes or save changes and edit next, but let's not add any more. So save changes. And now we see the points right here. All right, so now back to my classes. So the next option here is the grading option. So click on the arrow next to there. And here there are two views. There's the grading view and the student view. So we can use either one of those to edit the grading data, but let's work with the student view since we have less students here. So click on the arrow next to the student. And let's say for daily homework, Lauren got a 90%. And then we can save changes there. And perfect. From the grading view, let's add Thomas's scores. So then we can go here. We see that the average for the daily homework is 90. We can click on the arrow here. And we can even add a description from here. So we can say that there was some note homework. And then let's add maybe Thomas got an 85. So now we can save those changes. Perfect. So now we have the description here, and we can see both the student view and grading view. So now let's go back to my classes now that grading is done. So the next options here are the student notes and class notes. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in the grading, let's actually go back there. These grading items can also be customized, much like the behavior items. That's what I forgot to mention here. So you can add any types of labels for these items that you would like. So, okay, now let's go back, my classes. And as I was saying, there was student notes and class notes. So student notes are, of course, per student, and class notes are sent or are saved in the log of each student in the class. So let's first add a student note. So let's add one for Thomas. So all you do here, just click Edit Notes and we can say nice work today. And you can add anything here and click Save Changes. So now we've added a student note for Thomas, and let's go back to my classes. And now next is class notes. So click on the arrow next to class notes and edit notes. So let's say bring notebooks tomorrow is our class note. So this will be sent to everybody, and click Save Changes. All right, so now we have all of these set up here, but the final option here is to add some calendar events. So let's actually do something a little different here, as these two work the same way. So both classes have the calendar, but at the top here you notice there's a combined calendar. So these work the same way, except through the combined calendar you can decide more freely on which classes, or all classes, get those calendar events. So click on the combined calendar arrow, and now we have the event view. Of course, there's no events here. And we also have the calendar view. So the events will show up in both views. So let's go back to event view, and let's click add an event. So let's say just the event is today, and let's add a combined music class. And here we can select the class, but this one is for all classes. So let's say it's not an all-day event. It starts at 8 and ends at 9, and it doesn't repeat. We can even add a location and other information here, but let's keep this simple and just save changes. All right, so now we have the combined music class there. You see the time, and it's also in the calendar view. So great, we've added a combined class for both classes. Great, and now back to my classes. So as you can tell, we've added a lot of information here into the guitar class, but it is good to know that all of this information can be shared with students and guardians through TrackCC email accounts and or notifications through email and or text. And these can be found in under the communication tab in the notification settings. So you can set those up for your school. There will be another video explaining those settings in more detail. So, and the other settings I explained before with the student info can be found here in teacher settings. So again, there will be another video explaining those settings. So that is how you set up a Teacher Pro account. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you have any questions, please contact support@trackcc.org by email, and we are very happy to help you if you do have any questions. Thank you.